Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Students of class 8th. Hope all of you will be fine. Welcome back after the Eid holidays. Dear students, today we will study about the cell membrane. Previously we studied about the cell wall, which is only present in the plant cells and it is the outermost covering. We studied about its function and its structure, that is its composition. Now the cell membrane is present inner to the cell wall. The outermost covering in the plant cell is of cell wall. Now this is the cell wall. The inner to the cell wall is the cell membrane. In the plant cell, the cell membrane lies towards the inner side of the cell wall. But in animal cells, there is no cell wall and the outermost covering is of cell membrane. So, cell membrane is present only outermost in the animal cells, and cell wall is the outermost covering of plant cells, and the cell membrane is towards the inner side of the cell wall. Now, the cell membrane allows only few of the materials to cross it. So, cell membrane is a semi-permeable barrier which allows only few materials to pass through it, and the rest of the material is inside the cell, so it maintains the composition of the cells also, and it acts as a fence which protects the passage of unwanted material across it. So cell membrane maintains the internal composition, and in addition it plays important role to sense different chemical message that can be identified by the cells. At the surface of this cell membrane there are different receptors, and these receptors can sense the chemical messages. The chemical analysis of the cell membrane shows that it is composed of protein, lipids and very small amount of carbohydrates. When we see the cell membrane under the electron microscope, then there is the development of model. According to the name of the scientist, it is named as fluid mosaic model of the cell membrane, and according to this model, just like a sandwich, there are two layers of lipids and the protein is sandwiched between this layer and this layer. Just imagine the layer of bread, the two layer of bread, and inside the kebab or the egg, the protein is present. Present inside it. So we can say that there is a lipid bilayer. Bi means two, the first layer and the second layer. There is a lipid bilayer and the protein which is like these hair-like structure. These proteins are embedded or enclosed inside these bilayers. So the lipid bilayers is a very elastic and thin structure, so it provides the fluidity because it is not a rigid structure, and elasticity to the membrane, and small amounts of carbohydrates over here. These carbohydrates are also present in the cell membrane. These carbohydrates are attached with the lipid, so we call as glycolipid. Glyco means carbohydrate and lipid along with lipid, and also with the protein, so called glycoprotein. Glyco are carbohydrates and proteins are proteins. In eukaryotic cells, the cholesterol molecules are also present in the lipid bilayer. The lipid bilayer which sandwiches the protein molecules inside it along with the glycolipid and glycoprotein, these are the structural parts of the cell membrane. Now this cell membrane is present is in the eukaryotic cells only, and the organelles which are present in the eukaryotic cells, for example mitochondria, cytoplasm, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, are also bounded by this cell membrane. So there are two types of membranes in the cell. The outermost covering of the cell is known as plasma membrane, and the inside the cell, the organelles as I mentioned, that is mitochondria, endoplasmic, Golgi apparatus, chloroplast, these organelles are also embedded or enclosed by a membrane which is called as cell membrane. So the outermost membrane is the plasma membrane, and the membrane which is enclosing the organelles is called as cell membrane. Now the next part of the cell is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance which is semi-transparent because the other organelles are present. So it is semi-transparent, not fully transparent, and semi-viscous, that is it can flow up to some extent. So the cytoplasm, which is shown with the blue color, this the liquid, is called cytoplasm, and this cytoplasm is present between the nucleus, yani outside the nucleus, and inside the plasma membrane. So this whole area is enclosing the cytoplasm. Inside the cytoplasm we see different organelles are present, and different chemical reactions also takes place in this cytoplasm. So cytoplasm serves as the site for the various chemical reactions, metabolic chemical reactions, and the example is glycolysis, Krebs cycles, that is the breaking down of glucose during cellular respiration. We will study this in the detail in the later coming chapters. Hope so it will be clear. Dear students, write it in your neat notebooks from the notes given from the school, and also memorize it. Hope so it will be clear. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.